generally uncommon forest pigeon. Male's pinkish-orange head is unique. Female is less distinctive. Note red and white bill, dark eyes, and extensively pale fringed wing feathers. Inhabits coastal forests found in mangroves, swampy forest, and adjacent scrub. Gives a series of high whistling coos, often rising and falling in pitch and duration. The silvery gray crown of this green pigeon is diagnostic, but can be difficult to see when the bird perches high in the canopy. Adult male is green with an orange chest, dark cinnamon shoulders, and a bright orange patch under the tail. Female is more predominantly green without any orange. Both sexes have the silver crown, black wing tips, and intricate yellow markings on the flight feathers. Gives rather high-pitched whistling coos, generally to the rhythm of wah-wee-wah-woo. Strongly favors lowland forests, rare to locally uncommon in foothills. A medium-sized pigeon of lowland and foothill forest canopy, with green underparts, head, and rump, a gray crown, yellow wingers and edges to the flight feathers, a whitish belly, and white under the base of the tail. Note the whitish bill with a reddish base and the blue eyes. Male has a maroon shoulder and back where the female is green, similar to thick-billed green pigeons, but Philippine has a thinner bill, and lacks the green skin around the eye. Female resembles female pink-necked green pigeon, but that species has yellow marks only on the edge of the wing. Voice is typical of green pigeons, including a rising and falling out of tune whistle song. A brightly colored green pigeon confined to the island of Baru, mainly green, with pale markings in the wing forming a striking band. Males have a chestnut back, females, a green one like the main body color. As it is the only churn green pigeon in its very limited range, there is little potential for confusion with similar species. Currently, the voice remains undescribed. Brightly colored and thick-set pigeon of the forest canopy, usually seen flying over in pairs or small groups. Distinctive bicolored bill and bright green earring are visible even from a distance. Both sexes are mostly green. Males have maroon backs, while females are green all over. Both have jagged bright yellow stripping on the wing edges. Flocks are seen in fruiting trees in lowland and foothill forests, where they often associate with other green pigeons. Give smoothly undulating woo-woo, often in series. Chunky green pigeon with comical lime green goggles, and a thick white bill. Male has a dark maroon back and shoulders, which the female lacks. Both sexes have a silvery gray forehead and crown. Female may be confused with female pink-necked and orange-breasted green pigeons, but note her gray crown, green spectacles, and bright yellow-green wing feather linings. Inhabits a wide range of wooded areas, from the lowlands into the foothills, often in pairs, but will also gather in large flocks at fruiting trees. Gives a long, quavering coo, as well as more even-sounding cooing and odd, chuckling calls. A green pigeon with striking yellowish markings and edgings on the wing. Male has a chestnut lower back while the back of the female is entirely green, readily identified within its limited range, as there are no other green pigeons on Sumba Island, found singly or in pairs within canopy of forest and in secondary areas, where tall trees remain. Small groups gather at fruiting trees. Calls include a soft, whoop whoop, grunting sound, and weak, rising whistled notes. A small, largely green pigeon with bold, scattered pale markings on its wings. Adults show largely pale bills while immatures have dark bills. Small groups found in varied habitats with trees, from forests to open woodlands. In most of its range it is the only Turin green pigeon, but where it overlaps with pink-necked green pigeon, note the extensive pale markings on the wing of Flores green pigeon, and the absence of a pink-orange breast patch. Song is a series of soft whistles. Woo-wo-oh, rising at end, also gives harsher guttural notes. Fruit-loving, forest-dwelling pigeon with the coloration of a green mango, gathers in flocks in fruiting trees, and races by overhead in fast, direct flight. Note darker centered feathers under the tail, and bright yellowish linings on the wing feathers. Black and white outer tail edges are often exposed in flight. The only green pigeon on Timor, all green plumage readily separates this species from imperial pigeons and fruit doves. Very rare or extirpated in Indonesian West Timor, and declining in East Timor due to hunting and habitat loss. Gives oddly creaky rising coo, ah woo woo woo. Beautifully colored pigeon of peninsular India's lowland and hill forests. Male has a deep velvet red back and gray-blue crown. Female has an olive-green back and a more restricted crown patch. Song is odd and unpigeon-like, a long ascending note followed by high undulating squeaking and bubbling noises, somewhat resembling the tuning of an old radio. Medium-sized green pigeon with yellow face and yellowish line on the wing. Male has a maroon back that is green on the female. Found singly or in small groups at upper levels of forest, in lowlands and hills. Maroon back of male rules out similar species. Female has pale, green marked undertail, and like plainer, rufous undertail of orange-breasted green pigeon, or rufous markings of yellow-footed green pigeon. Legs and feet of Sri Lanka green pigeon are reddish. Call a series of drawn-out whistles. A large, dull green pigeon with a thick pale bill and a gray forehead. The dark olive green and maroon wings have contrasting yellow lines below the shoulders, and the undertail is dull yellow, with green patches, often flocks in large numbers, and feeds in the canopy on fruits and figs. The song is a distinctive low, nasal whistle. Like other green pigeons, usually seen flying overhead or perched in a fruiting tree. Green overall with a neon blue bill and bright red feet. Sexes are similar, but males have a faint orange wash on the chest that females lack. Very long, sharp-tipped tail is diagnostic, and evident both when in flight and when perched. Usually seen in pairs or small to medium-sized flocks in hill forests. Generally quiet, occasionally gives a high fluty, doo, followed by 2 to 3 deeper coots. Relatively plain and unmarked green pigeon with a long pointed tail. Males have a faint orange blush on the chest, though this can be hard to notice. Note blue-green bill and goggles in both sexes. Completely unmarked dark olive-green wings separate this species from other green pigeons within its range. Wedge-tailed green pigeon can be similar, but note that species much more thickset, billed and shorter tail. Endemic to the hill forests of Sumatra and western Java. Like other green pigeons, gathers in fruiting trees, gives rising and falling series of high-pitched coots, often with a hiccuping or sobbing quality. A rather dark green pigeon with black-tipped olive-green wings, and a long needle-pointed tail. Both sexes have a white patch low on the belly and a lemon-yellow vent. Pin-tailed green pigeon is similarly long-tailed, but lighter in color with warm tinges of yellowish-orange on the breast and brighter yellow wing feathers. Like many other green pigeons, generally forages quite high in the forest canopy. Inhabits montane and foothill forests, occasionally in coastal lowlands. Generally uncommon to rare throughout its range. Gives a melodious, jumbled series of resonant and rather high-pitched cooing whistles. Medium-sized pigeon with olive green wings and a pale belly. Both sexes green overall with yellowish green heads, brighter in males. Males have a vivid maroon wing patch. Compare with smaller whistling green pigeon in Japan and Taiwan. The only regularly occurring green pigeon in mainland East Asia, generally uncommon in a wide range of forest and forest edge habitats, occasionally gathering in flocks on coastlines to drink salt water, presumably to aid digestion of fruit, gives a series of somewhat jumbled mellow cooing whistles, often introduced with 2 to 3 ascending notes, and followed with undulating repeated coos. Brightly colored pigeon of lowland and hill forest. Both sexes are green with red feet and a bright blue bill, but males have an orange chest patch and wine red patches on the wings which the female lacks. Females can be confused with the similarly plain pin-tailed green pigeon, but wedge-tailed has a much shorter tail with a rounded tip. Like other green pigeons, tends to occur in pairs and small flocks, but will congregate in large numbers at fruiting trees, usually high in the canopy. Listen for its distinctive song, a series of smooth ascending coos followed by a series of blubbering high-pitched notes. A variable green pigeon of subtropical and tropical lowland broadleaf evergreen forests. Ryukyu subspecies readily approachable, sometimes found in parks and gardens. Taiwan subspecies more timid. Ryukyu and Taiwan subspecies sometimes considered separate species, as Taiwan birds are much smaller and have a rufous cap, similar to white-bellied green pigeon, but feathers around the legs never white, face less yellowish, and white edges of undertail coverts narrower. Song a low, whistling, pu-a-a pu-u, rising and trilling at end, recalling a bamboo flute. A variable green pigeon of subtropical and tropical lowland broadleaf evergreen forests. Ryukyu subspecies readily approachable, sometimes found in parks and gardens. Taiwan subspecies more timid. Ryukyu and Taiwan subspecies sometimes considered separate species, as Taiwan birds are much smaller and have a rufous cap, similar to white-bellied green pigeon, but feathers around the legs never white, face less yellowish, and white edges of undertail coverts narrower. Song a low, whistling, pu-a-a pu, rising and trilling at end, recalling a bamboo flute. Bulky green pigeon of forested areas. Male has a bright orange breast with a pink upper quarter and a powder blue nape. Female is green overall with a fainter blue-gray nape patch than the male. Both sexes are similar to pink-necked green pigeon, with which this species associates. Note green face and throat in the male and weak but distinct nape patch in the female orange-breasted green pigeon. Often forages in numbers at fruiting trees alongside other pigeon species. Song is bizarre, a long rising note followed by a nasal, blubbering twitter. Brightly colored tree-dwelling pigeon. Adult male has a powder pink neck, orange breast patch, gray-blue head, and yellow belly. Adult female is much plainer, pea-green above and brighter yellow-green below. Both sexes have striking black and yellow wing feathers and yellow spotting on the undertail coverts. Adaptable, and can be found in mangroves, open coastal forests, parks, gardens, and plantation edges. Primarily a lowland species, but can on occasion be found in foothills, social, often gathering in flocks, occasionally mixes with other green pigeons. Unlike many other pigeons, not very vocal, occasionally gives strange, alien-sounding cooes. This aptly named forest species is the smallest of the green pigeons. Males are highly distinctive, with a blue-gray head and neck, orange chest, pinkish-maroon back, and green belly. Females are duller, but their combination of size, gray crown, and contrasting yellow-green chest serves to tell them apart from other green pigeons. Pairs often forage and perch together, often on exposed bare branches. Like other pigeons, frequently gathers at fruiting trees. Song is a series of strangely buzzy rising whistles. Brightly colored pigeon with significant regional variation. Look for a gray, shoulder strap, and yellow legs. South Asian birds are the brightest, with an orange-yellow neck and green underparts. Southeast Asian birds have more extensive gray on the underparts. Sexes are similar, found in lowland forest and forest edge, as well as parks, gardens, and orchards. A common urban bird in much of its South Asian range. Not extremely vocal, occasionally gives cooing whistles. Largest of the green pigeons, a stout-billed, heavy-chested, and broad-winged bird. Male olive-green overall, washed in gray, with small orange patch on chest. Orange-breasted and pink-headed green pigeons are smaller, brighter green, and have other colorful patches on the body. Female similarly colored, but with pallor, smaller orange patch, much larger than other green pigeons. Gives groaning, undulating coos, uncommon and localized in primary lowland and foothill forests. chunky, medium-sized pigeon that is mostly pale green with black wings and a pale wing stripe. Flight is very fast and direct, sometimes found alone, though more often in small groups. Widespread but erratic, local abundance linked to the availability of fruit, its main food. Found in humid forest, secondary forest, and plantations. Endemic to the island of Moheli in the Comoros. Voice is a quiet but maniacal combination of sputters, whistles, and cackles. Easily identified, as it is the only green pigeon within its tiny range. A chunky, medium-sized pigeon that has a green back, a gray head, and a yellow belly. Flight is fast and direct, sometimes seen alone, though more often in small groups. Found in a variety of savanna and woodland habitats, often in and around fruiting fig trees. Similar to African green pigeon, but easily separated by the yellow belly. Voice is a quiet but maniacal series of sputters, whistles, and cackles. Medium-sized chunky pigeon that is mostly pale green, with black wings and a pale wing stripe. Flight is very fast and direct, sometimes found alone, though more often in small groups. Widespread but erratic, local abundance linked to the availability of fruit, its main food. Found in many habitats including spiny forest, dry deciduous forest, rind forest, villages, and scrub, mostly at low and middle elevations. Most common in dry habitats in western Madagascar. Voice is a quiet but maniacal series of sputters, whistles, and cackles. This is the only green pigeon within its range. A plump pigeon with green wings and back, dull burgundy shoulders, and a whitish bill with a red base. It prefers forest and thicker woodland, where nomadic groups congregate in fruiting trees, especially figs. They clamber around clumsily like parrots but can remain well hidden. When disturbed, they explode from a tree and fly quickly and directly, often detected by their amusing song, which includes whinnies, clicks, whistles, cackles, and growls. African green pigeon lacks the bright yellow belly of the similar Bruce's green pigeon. Chunky, medium-sized pigeon that has a green back and gray underparts. Also note the purple shoulders, and the whitish bill with a red base. Flight is fast and direct, sometimes alone, though more often in small groups. The species clambers around clumsily like a parrot but can remain well hidden. Found in the canopy of rainforest, secondary forest, and plantations, most common at middle elevations. Voice is a quiet but maniacal combination of sputters, whistles, and cackles. Easily identified, as it is the only green pigeon on the island of Suno. A medium-sized, chunky pigeon that has an olive-green back and a gray head and underparts. Flight is fast and direct, sometimes seen alone, though more often in small groups. Found in forest edge, plantations, and villages, often around fruiting trees. Similar to other green pigeons, but easily separated by range, as it is the only green pigeon on the island of Pemba. Voice is a quiet but maniacal series of sputters, whistles, and cackles.